Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen news. We are still waiting on Star Citizen Alpha 3.9.0 to go to the first wave of PTU. It is only still with the EVOCATI. We've had a sneak peek at the new pistola from the Lightning Bolt company. Players might actually have a hand in choosing a new Imperator for the game, and with all the changes and delays, what are we actually getting with Alpha 3.9.0 once it's actually released? First, a quick news update. The sneak peek from the newsletter this week was of the new Lightning Bolt company pistola, or pistol, planned for 4.0. We've seen its bigger brother, the sniper rifle, in a bit more detail already. It looks like Cloud Imperium are working out exactly how its damage type will affect objects and characters that it hits. Will it like chain between them? Will it cause them to be stunned? Will it cause them to explode? All that sort of jazz. There was no Inside Star Citizen this week. It returns on the 23rd of April. We did have a Star Citizen Live, though, that looked at some of the lore and narrative team's doings. They want players to be able to influence the Imperator vote in the future. At the moment, they're sort of like building up the NPC candidates and having that go out every month and talking about that. But in the future, we might actually have a bit more interactivity with that. They want the Galactopedia to be available in-game at some point with a Mobiglass app. That's basically just a huge database of things and sort of like tooltips, basically. They are regularly updating the Galactopedia even now on the website. The transmissions and hacked broadcasts that we heard from like Port Olisar and other locations in Alpha 3.7 are part of something that will become apparent in the future. There's going to be a payoff for that. I'm very interested to see what is going on with that. Earth in lore is overcrowded, but they're sort of like working towards a better tomorrow. They build lore so that it shouldn't need to be retconned in the future as well. It's sort of like built as building blocks that they can build onto. Lore will be added to and evolve with in-game achievements. If a player discovers something or defeats a particularly powerful NPC or pirate or something, that achievement will then be recorded in lore in-game, in the universe. That sort of stuff is uncommon, though. The narrative team there are really looking forward to getting involved with some of the interesting dynamic changes that they're going to be able to bring to the economy and points of interest with the Quanta system in the future as well. So, what are we actually getting with Alpha 3.9.0 now? 3.9.0 is progressing with the EVOCATI, and once it's stable enough to allow for more players, it will go to first wave PTU. The most common suggestion is that there are problems with performance and desync, and that sort of thing might be causing issues. In the recent roadmap roundup, we saw performance optimization, prison uniforms, and the Microtech collection of clothing and armor now in polishing, but the restricted area rework has been moved from 3.9 to 4.0, and additional tasks have been added to that feature, with Cloud Imperium giving a bit of an explanation. Although the team is happy with the progress being made on this rework, we've decided that it needs a little bit of extra love to ensure that it's up to our standards, and will end up missing the cutoff for its scheduled release. So this now sees 3.9.0 with the following features. New BABBAGE as a new location. So the landing zone of Microtech is being added so you can actually explore its internals. It has multiple zones and locations, a spaceport that connects to a high-speed train that then takes you to the city proper. There are various domes there with shopping and commerce areas, as well as a player apartment and hab area. There are lots of shops, food courts, purchasable food, NPCs running around doing exercise, social areas which will change based on the time of day. So a Wally's bar will have like a laser show in the evenings. In fact, more generally, you'll see lights change on external structures in day-night cycles as well. There is access to the surface from the city and spaceport. There is quite a lot to see and look around, but it's very much an oasis on the harsh, frozen surface of Microtech, with clean, beautiful domes, interesting genetically modified plants, open glass ceilings. It's very sort of like high-tech campus is the styling there. There are 3 new moons for Microtech as well: Calliope, Euterpe, and Clio. These are built entirely from the start with the new V4 planetary tech, and we will see an actual proper ocean, a frozen ocean, and other interesting biomes there. Each moon will have its own sort of like unique experience. Another new location is Klesha Automated Prison on Hurston's moon of Aberdeen. This brings with it prison gameplay and missions with prisons. If you have committed a certain crime and then you are taken out by or near security forces, you will then respawn in prison with a debt of merits that you need to pay off and no access to your normal inventory. You can earn merits by just being logged on in prison, but you can also use a mining tool underneath the prison to collect valuables and then deposit them for merits. Once you've earned enough merits, you can then leave. There is another way of leaving prison, and that's by escaping through the mines, but you are going to need to find the right route, and oxygen is needed because the atmosphere of Aberdeen is not breathable, and you'll find sort of like oxygen terminals and that sort of stuff in those mines and around the prison, but it's going to be reasonably hard to escape. Once you've escaped, you'll need to think about how you're getting off the planet as well. There's supposed to be a garage with a vehicle in it, but you're going to need some form of transport off the planet, because once you've escaped, you're going to need to hack down your prison sentence before you get access to your inventory again, and that could have players coming after you as well as part of that sort of like new mission gameplay, and you're going to need to get to a security depot like Curry Post Korea with a hacking tool as well. There are also some new laws, so look out for those. Items and gear-wise, we have prison flight suits and uniforms for you as an escapee or prisoner. The Microtech set of new clothing and armors, including various thermal protective armors and gear, is also here. More recently, Cloud Imperium showed off some new sub-armor, the Overlord helmet, which will be in 3.9, as well as what we assume the rest of the suit being available in May, but a load of new helmets are available when 3.9 goes live, apparently. We should also be seeing the Citizen Con armor set that people will have in their goodies pack with 3.9 as well. Player status system updates are a pretty major thing, adding light survival mechanics to the game. Players will have hunger and thirst, necessitating food and drink. That will be harvestable and purchasable around the verse and can give buffs and debuffs. They don't want this to be too invasive though, so don't expect that you need to eat and drink really often unless you're like on a hot planet or are suffering some form of debuff, but something that is adding to the game's sort of like social downtime rather than, oh god, I need to eat constantly, blah, blah, blah. Temperature and environments are also part of this new system. This should be adding stats to clothing and armor of all types with thermal protections. Daymar is extremely hot, for example. Microtech is extremely cold, and you will need protection to survive there for more than a few seconds. A timer will give you a suspected survival time while being in those dangerous temperatures. Weather and locomotion updates are also here, with your character reacting to wind or storms by slowing down or protecting their face, or both. There are new commodities, with Quantanium, the volatile cargo, being the sort of like biggest change here, I suppose. You mine Quantanium and then need to transport it quickly and safely to a sales kiosk. Volatile cargoes may lose their value or become valueless after a certain amount of time, and they might even explode if you take damage or jostle them too much or you don't get them to their destination in time. The idea here is to add risk and reward, and, you know, if you've got a risky cargo, then it's going to be more valuable. Eventually, Quantanium will be used in the manufacture of quantum fuel. Some new missions as well. We've got the player transport, the Price of Freedom mission, which will have you assaulting a prisoner transport caterpillar and rescuing some prisoners there, potentially assassinating one. There's also a co-op assassination / bounty hunting mission, which has you having to coordinate with someone else to take out multiple targets at the same time. Microtech, its moons, and new BABBAGE should all be hooked up to the mission systems as well, so that's a location for drop-off and that sort of stuff. Bounty hunting improvements, in addition to new bounty hunting missions, they were also adding the ability for the bounty to evade and go to quantum as well for NPCs. There are missions for escapees and prisoners, hunting them down. If someone's causing trouble in prison as well, inmates will have to deal with them. There are some pretty big AI updates for ships, if they work. So navigation, collision avoidance, pathfinding, planet side. This system is going to allow sort of AI to have some new functionality and to be less derpy. This should see AI entities avoiding each other and avoiding collisions with the environment. These systems consider the sort of like position of any given object and the sort of target velocity it's going, so that it can move in a way that is sensible and will get to its location that it wanted to get to without bumping into things. Also, they're getting AI ships to navigate in atmosphere. The path search will use data from the elevation map, and it will sort of like work out the best possible obstacle-free route. I really, really want to see this stuff working. If it's working in 3.9 well, then we'll see AI ships potentially in atmosphere flying around, which would be absolutely great. Whatever, it's essential pieces for AI for the future of the game for sure. Cloud Imperium confirmed that there would be no persistence reset for the most part for your progress. So you should see your items, ships, and Alpha UEC carry over from 3.8's branch to 3.9. However, players with huge sums of money that used exploits may see a reset or some of that ill-gotten gains removed. Rewind time latency improvements have been made with network prediction code used to ensure positions and states are accurate as close to possible as real-time as they can be between the clients and server. This is mostly utilized for FPS and animations for players. This also sort of requires servers to be as stable and high-tick as possible, so sort of like staying at 30 ticks to work as intended, and I think they've been working towards getting that in as well. I'm hoping that this may help with desync too, but it could do anything, I suppose. It could create new bugs, so we'll have to bear that in mind. There are huge updates to the personal inner thought menus, so this allows you to open a contextual radial menu, use your inventory, interact with stuff, whatever you're sort of like near easily with a nested group of functions. You won't have to search around in the options menu trying to work out how you do something or what you can do. You'll be able to find it in the inner thought menu and activate it there. It will show you sort of like what you can do there. And it will be if you're on foot or if you're on a ship or if you're in a station, that sort of like contextual menu will change. You can even set hotkeys there as well, which is absolutely fantastic. So you don't have to do it from the options menu at all anymore. To access inner thought, you hold F and right click, bam, you're there. Also, you can access usables like food in your inventory or even use it to quick switch weapons. Talking about weapons, you'll be able to mod them in real time now as well, changing out scopes or rail items, bam, bam, bam. Cloud Imperium and Turbulent have also been working on a contacts list refactor or friends list unification, a single contacts and friends list between both the game servers and Spectrum. So if you change one in one, it changes it in both in real time, which is great. The Prowler is the only ship currently listed for 3.9. This is the first Tavaran ship we have for the game. It's a stealthy armored focused dropship, allowing the ship to be sort of pressurized while its doors are open using air shields so people can easily access and leave the ship via EVA anyway. A new straight-to-flyable ship or vehicle is possibly going to be with 3.9. There's no confirmations though, beyond a teaser for something from Origin Jumpworks coming soon, but I would expect to see something straight-to-flyable or drivable in 3.9. If 3.9.0 Live is stable and playable enough, I would expect to see Cloud Imperium also run a free fly week with its launch, but we should also see a flyable ship sail with the Prowler and anything else new available as well. I hope that Cloud Imperium are able to dial in some SOX server-side object container streaming stuff and get rid of the terrible desync issues that 3.8 had. It was a shame that the Idris mission and the M50 updates, as well as the restricted city rework, got pushed back to 4.0, as well as Eddie Parr, the sort of like mission giver. But if 3.9 can be stable and playable, then it will sate my Star Citizen itch for a while, that's for sure. We also know that there is a 3.9.1 patch in the works already, or at least sort of planned. This should contain bug fixes and triage for the patch, but also include the P72 Emerald snub ship, which is just a different coloured variant of the P72. And that's it for this week and what we are preparing for in Alpha 3.9. I hope that we get the first wave PTU real soon and that the live build isn't too delayed. Realistically, I would hope to see the live build by the end of April, but that could be potentially optimistic at the moment. It's hard to see. Without the first wave PTU being released, we don't really know too much about what CIG is going to struggle with when it comes to getting this patch out to live. I hope everyone is staying home and safe and sane during these current times. If you need to reach out for company and sanity, please make sure you do. And if you are sort of like able to and have the time to, reach out to other people and say hi. Make sure they're doing well too, even if you are or aren't, or whatever. Say hello to humans. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear them. When do you think we'll see 3.9 live? Do you think the current global situation is a reasonable excuse for a few weeks delay for 3.9? What are you looking forward to most in 3.9? Whatever your thoughts, I chuck them down below. I'll read them, and then I'll be reading them and replying to them. And if you haven't seen my Pillar Talk breakdown video yet, I recommend that you watch that too. I'll link that down below too. For April, we are giving away a Cutlass Black and Star Citizen game package. Just comment on any of my videos made during this month of April to be in for a chance of winning that. I am a shill for a couple of companies, NordVPN and NordPass. If you are looking for a VPN or a password management system, I recommend you check them out. They've got many benefits over free services, and as I'm pretty security conscious, I love those kind of services. Also, there's Shadow, Also, if you are thinking about getting a new gaming rig or upgrading your gaming PC for Star Citizen or whatever, then consider Shadow instead. It is a internet cloud-based subscription service like Stadia, like GeForce Now, but this one gives you access to a full Windows 10 environment which is fully customizable, and that is significantly better in my opinion, allowing you to do a lot more with it. Check out the links below for them or use the code BoredGamer for discount. Also, if you wish to support the channel further, there is Patreon, there's the YouTube join member button down below. That really helps. This is a community supported channel and I wouldn't be able to do what I do without the support that I get. If you want to share these videos, if you want to comment, give feedback, whatever, that is also hugely appreciated. Thanks very much for watching, guys. You take care and I'll see you in the verse.